Well, yeah. Anyway, dude, thanks for coming on and doing this. This is
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's always fun to like talk to other people in the community and get fresh perspectives. So yeah, I'm excited.
so. Have any songs like grown or shrunk on you? Also, just like general thoughts on the album. Like,
Yeah,
what's
I definitely really enjoy the album. I think it's interesting because I've voiced this online. I think it was like marketed as like the end all be all like album, and so I think I kind of went into it with that expectation of, it's this is going to be definitive, and it's going to have like the bow on it that Tyler Joseph has said multiple times. And so I think initially I was a little like, whoa, it's very different from how it was talked about, especially with
yeah.
Paladin Straight, the infamous Paladin Straight. And then we got the music video. And we'll get into that in a little bit too. But I think overall, like my recency bias has had enough time to like die off. And now I have had time to like actually sit with it and form opinions that are not related to like the excitement of
Mm-hmm.
the intro of the era. So as it stands now, I really do enjoy it. I think my favorite song, and it wasn't initially, but I think it's Navigating.
Yeah.
I used to like, I even in my first reaction, like I really enjoyed Navigating. But there's just so much going on. But with time to sit with it, I think that one has just like risen to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then on a similar note to that, like I'm shocked that I'm saying this, but like Lavish
Okay.
also is one.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, because I think like I overplayed so many other heavy hitter songs when that full album came out, like
Mm-hmm.
Overcompensate, Vignette, Navigating, At the Risk of Feeling Dumb, Paladin Straight, like those five were on constant repeat. And I kind of got burned out, but then Lavish was like sitting there in the corner, like, I haven't
Yep.
been played all that much. And I started playing it, and
Yep.
it's definitely like one of my maybe like top three for now. It's a good one for sure.
Yeah, Lavish has definitely grown on me. I
Hmm
don't know about top three, but it's definitely grown on me. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites to see
Yeah.
live.
I like that they lean into like the silly nature of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that like music video wise, it's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, so good.
But yeah, I was gonna say like I know Midwest Indigo, Routines in the Night, and Vignette. Those were like all contenders for like my favorite on the album, and it was really hard for me to pinpoint. But I think with time, Midwest Indigo
Hmm
is definitely my probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Navigating is also really good. That one has also really grown on me a lot.
Yeah.
And also from like a drum perspective, like I really
Mm.
like Navigating.
Yeah. I definitely feel like Josh Dun shines the most in Clancy than any other album.
Oh
I think
yeah.
they the something with the production, they just sound a lot more crisp and like heavy and bassy, and they're just way more present. Like they don't get drowned out by anything. Like they're
hmm
just right there with Tyler. And yeah, that's a huge selling point of the album overall.
Yeah.
In terms of ones I would say have shrunk, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Well, there's only one, and that it actually is Vignette, because I still love it. Like there isn't a bad song I would
Yeah.
say besides like Jenna the Craving version.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan. I think the single version keeps the energy going. If you listen to the full album with that swapped out, but Vignette is like still good. But I think like it has with time has been surpassed by other songs that I've like fallen
Yeah.
even more in love with.
Yeah.
Still a great song, but yeah, I think I find myself like gravitating to like Navigating, Still Overcompensate, Lavish, like Paladin Straight recently. So
hmm
um, but I don't know, like I don't know, opinions change, and
Yeah.
yeah, I just gravitate to different songs depending on what day of the week it is. So
Yeah. So wait, going back to the Craving. So obviously you prefer the single version over the album version.
I would say so. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
in an album sense, would you want the single version swapped out for album
Yeah, I
version?
think so because, and like, I don't dislike Jenna's version. I
Yeah.
just think that if you listen to it throughout like the
Just
full album,
from a
like back,
sequencing standpoint.
yes, like
Yeah.
cover to cover, it just keeps the energy going a lot more.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the track
I can
list.
see
I'm trying,
that.
is Vignette the one before the Craving? I'm trying to
Yes.
remember.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I just feel like if it is the single version, it just keeps the energy going. I feel like once
Yeah.
it transitions to the Genesis version, it just slows down quite a bit, and I don't know. It feels like it kind of hits a speed bump a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, I think it's weird because it's like for me, I think that like from an album sequencing standpoint, Jenna's version is
hmm.
like
Yeah.
the better one, but song for song, I think I like the single version better.
Yeah. I will say the music video for Jenna's version is awesome. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that one's
it's
pretty good.
very sentimental. I think it's the most open and like raw he's been about
Hmm.
Jenna. Like it's still kind of metaphorical, but it's a lot
Yeah.
more like on the nose.
Oh yeah.
Um, so, and I was wrong. Actually, Lavish is after the Craving. So that
Okay.
actually is kind of a similar, not similar vibe, but um, it's also it's not like a hyped song. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's kind of
Like,
like somewhat mellow.
yeah, like it kind of like takes a step back. Jenna's, the Craving, Jenna's version, then Lavish kind of brings it back up again, and
Hmm.
then it transitions to Navigating. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll have to listen to like the full album once again to pinpoint my opinions on that. But yeah, I do prefer the single version overall.
Yeah. So talking about music videos now, like when they announced they're doing a music video for every single song, like what were your initial thoughts? Like were you on board or what? I
Yeah,
guess what was your general?
I think for sure on board. I was, I don't know. Part of me is like, I mean, I'll take anything 21 Pilots gives.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, fair enough.
there's not a negative about like more 21 Pilots, and the fact that they were doing, yeah, one for every song was like
Yeah.
impressive. Um, but yeah, I think it it was a good idea, and I'm glad that we got all of them. Some of them definitely feel more like DIY than
Oh
others,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, I am happy that they tried that, and it seemed to work for them.
yeah,
Like every music video is pretty much beloved. Like every music video has like a funny gag in it,
yeah,
or like a funny quirk, or like a twist at the ends, like
hmm,
vignette.
yeah,
And I appreciate that for every single one. But kind of building off what you were saying, like Lavish is awesome. Like of the
yeah.
DIY ones that aren't
Lavish has
lore
got to be the
related,
best. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's so like I think I can't think of any other band that's done something like that.
yeah,
Um, so it's really fun. Yeah, definitely a highlight when we were
yeah,
watching the live stream.
yeah. When they said they're doing a music video for like every single song, I was I was pretty excited, but then like I listened to the album before I watched any of the music videos,
Same.
and so like having heard all like the songs first, there's almost a part of me that's like I don't want to attach this visual to
Mm,
the song
yeah.
because like the music video I have in my head for like certain songs, I'm like it's probably too expensive for
Yeah.
what they are able to do.
What's an example of that? Like what was your head leaning towards?
I think like Routines in the Night and Vignette are probably like the main ones. Like the ones they did like that they released are okay, but I don't know. They're just kind of like I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's cool ideas in it,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And also for like Vignette, I feel like that's such like a big bombastic song. Like I feel like there needs to be like a little bit more going on than just them on like the ice with the flashlight. But
I will agree with you that vignette, that music video has the least going on. Like it's
yeah,
just,
it's just kind of
yeah, it feels like they're just like filling time to get to the
yeah.
reveal of Josh at the end,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah. Yeah, I do
that's
I do
like the
like how they
main
have the
reason.
twist. I do like
Yeah, but yeah, I will say like I wish that, not wishing that they were like all lore related, but like
yeah.
more of them I
Well,
wish could have been lore related.
yeah, I feel like the big thing for me is like the marketing and like just kind of the talk about the album before it came out was very much like it's going to be very direct with the lore
Hmm.
and lore heavy. And so when they announced all like the music videos, I was kind of anticipating like most of them being like having some lore related stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that, kind of circling back, like it's cool that they did it, and I'm glad that like there isn't necessarily like a bad one, but I
mm,
think by spreading themselves thin on like a budget standpoint, I just think they
yeah,
could have done cooler things with that budget. Um, if they didn't do one for every single music video.
yeah,
Also, I'm kind of bummed that like they delayed the album by a week
yeah,
for that
you
reason.
missed that perfect like
I
9 year
know, I know.
of
If I were Tyler, I'd be like kicking myself, or like just like make it happen. Like we'll drop a music video later on. Like just keep that
Yeah.
like perfect 9 year, cycle.
Yeah.
Like that's so poetic and they missed it. But yeah, I think looking over just the music videos, like Midwest Indigos was fun. Like
Mhm.
that's very fitting, I feel like, being in the
Yeah.
snow and all that. Like next semester was very high quality, so I won't
Yeah.
include that in the DIY category.
Yeah.
Same kind of with Backslide. That's like kind of a middle ground between next semester and like a Midwest Indigo
Yeah.
or like a Vignette. That seemed
Yeah.
like it had some budget behind it. Um, yeah, Vignette. We have Jenna's version, very simple, lavish. Snapback, I kind of forgot about that one. Oldie
Oh yeah.
Station.
Oldie
Uh,
Station I really like. I forgot about that one. That one's really
yeah,
good.
that's a fun one.
Yeah.
And again, that it just goes back to like
Yeah.
each one has a fun quirk or gimmick. Gimmick's the word I
Yeah.
was looking for earlier.
Yeah.
So I love that stuff. Like if they can have a unique gimmick for every music video, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Definitely. So going into Paladin Straight, like
Yeah.
from an audio perspective, like that being the ending, like what are your thoughts? Like, is it satisfying or is it like I know you've talked about this before too, or
Yeah,
like what?
yeah. I you know, I it's hard because I want to like it so much, but there's just like I think the very first, and I do like it. I want to preface,
Yeah.
but I think the very first listen was really cool, like incredible.
Yeah.
The birds added so much on that first listen,
Hmm.
and it created a sense of like you hear the birds, but they go on for so long and it's kind of like foreboding. Like it's
Hmm.
like a calming thing that slowly transitions to like, okay, this is kind of unsettling. Like what's going on?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Tyler does finally come in. It's like, okay, like that's over. And then he starts like lore dumping. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is awesome. This is what I've wanted this entire album is to just address the banditos or bishops somewhere.
Yeah.
And then having that Nico confrontation
Hmm.
with the ending the way that it does end,
Yeah.
I think was a phenomenal first listen. And that's what Tyler
Yeah.
said. Like they wanted the listening experience to um, I guess, take priority over the visual
Hmm.
experience. But on repeated listens, I feel like it is a little bit like tedious. Like I like the
Yeah.
birds. I'm just like,
Like a full, is it like a full minute, I think?
I think it's a full
It's
minute or
pretty,
close
yeah.
to it.
It's
Um,
long.
and it's like even the music video cut it out. So is it
Yeah.
that important? Like, I get that
Well,
it's
yeah, and it's
yeah.
like, okay, we're getting a music video for this, so like during that like minute of birds, like there's gonna be something going down, and like
Yes.
we're gonna get
Yeah.
that. But then they release it, and then there's like nothing there.
Yeah. I totally envisioned that point to be like a lot of slow-mo shots of
Yeah.
like the banditos fighting whatever they were fighting we didn't know at the time,
Hmm.
and like Clancy finding his way to like the towers,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's not how it played out. So yeah, like yeah, again, like if the music video didn't find it important, like why is
Yeah.
it in there? um but yeah, to answer your other point, like I don't feel like it's definitive, especially
Yeah.
with the music video the way it is.
Yeah.
I think that like bow on the end that Tyler had mentioned a couple times is just not that is not the bow that he was talking
Yeah.
about. I think
Definitely.
there's definitely another chapter. I don't think it's a full album, but something else coming to like
Well,
resolve that or
that's what like
complete.
speculating. I was like, I don't think they're gonna release another single because then if they were to do that, then someone goes out and buys the vinyl, then it's
I
an
know, I
incomplete
know.
album and
Yeah.
it doesn't have that ending.
Yeah, it would be like in that sense, if we're talking about story, and the album would be like if you use like a video game analogy, the album would be like the base game, and then
Yep,
like
and then
yeah, DLC, again
DLC
like a
add-on, yeah,
DLC
yep,
ending that's not in the vinyl, and
yeah,
that'd be kind of yeah, and I agree, like that'd be really funky, like a weird way to do it.
yeah,
For it to be more definitive, they'd have to do a full another album, but I just don't
hmm,
think they're gonna do that.
yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I either, and I really don't think this new single coming out the line. I don't think that that's like it's gonna be lore. I think it will
Yeah,
tie in, but I don't think they're
yeah,
gonna put like a definitive ending in a song for the Arcane soundtrack
yeah,
like that. I think that's just gonna be like lore, like light lore details that could
yeah.
tie in. But
Where it's very, yeah, you could like take it either way. Like you can listen
hmm
to it without that lens and it could be,
yeah, just like Heathens.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So speaking of there being more, like the Clancy Ultimate Chapter 25,
Oh yeah.
and that was found before the Paladin Straight music video, and people were speculating like that was like the release date, but clearly that didn't pan out.
Yeah. I think it was discovered in May when
Yeah,
the album came out. I think it was like
it was on that like
in
wall of like all the letters, and there
yes.
was because
Yeah, like the digital
the
remains pack, I want to say.
it was in there, but I think it was first found at the exhibit they had in Columbus, or what the FE is now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember, like, me and my friend went to that, and we saw, and like it was like on the wall, with all like the like letters and everything.
So you saw it with your eyes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
was it a picture
It was
that
basically
as it
so.
was presented in the digital remains, or was it a physical
No,
like
it was a physical. So that picture that's in the digital remains, that's like
yeah.
if someone were to step back and take a picture of that
Got it.
wall.
Okay, okay.
So there was like the actual like letters printed out on the wall there.
Oh,
Like,
that's sick. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm assuming that's like plans for next year or something.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot going on with Tonio Pilots, and I haven't been making videos. I need to like get back into that. But I've been slacking. But apparently, so they filmed something yesterday, and you were there, so you would know.
Mhm.
But Tyler mentioned like, well, I don't know. I'll pass it off to you because I heard like some people on Instagram posting saying that he was saying like, thank you for trying out this like weird idea with us or something along those lines.
Yeah, so he said he was doing a music video, and like
Yeah.
obviously it was for Routines in the Night. But my guess with that is that now that they're pushing that song as a single,
Yeah.
they're gonna release like an alternate music video for that, and they're just trying something
hmm
with filming it like with the Columbus shows.
That's interesting. Yeah, I know some people were speculating that they're wanting or there's a potential for them to do like a like concert live experience or something where it's like
Hmm.
almost like a documentary on their tour and
Mm.
they were like filming stuff for that too. But regardless, whatever Clancy like Ultimate Chapter 25 is, I think there's a lot planned for next year.
Yeah.
And I think there was like a magazine or something or someone that was working with the band on the onset of Clancy and like them planning out the era. And they reported and said like, yeah, they have plans to like 2026. And so it's sounds like it's going to be like a packed era, which
Yeah.
I'm stoked about, and especially with like how much lore has been in the concerts.
Hmm.
Um, like it just feels like we're like eating good this era. Where like
Yeah.
Skilled and Icy felt like okay, like we had the live stream experience, and now we wait, and then they had some like live performances like on talk show hosts and stuff like that. But then they
Hmm.
finally got out to tour, and but
Yeah.
even while they were touring, it just felt like we're just waiting for the next thing.
Yeah.
But for Clancy, it feels like there's substantial things that feel like they're in the works
Hmm.
for this whole tour and this whole era so far.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, because definitely like with the album release and everything, like I love the album, but like felt like it was missing some like lore, some more like lore stuff. And I feel
hmm
like
I
the
agree.
tour is definitely kind of making up for that because I feel like there's a lot of stuff implemented just throughout the entire set. Because even just like with like the letters that
Yeah.
they like
Oh, I
have,
forgot about that. Yeah.
but yeah, like even like with Tyler's shirts though, like I I know there's a lot of like lore stuff there, but as far as like what all it is, I'm not sure
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. They somehow, I don't really follow that as well. Like, I love the
Mhm.
lore, but that's like a step
I,
too deep for me
yeah,
where I'm
oh
like,
yeah, same.
okay,
I'm
like,
glad other people are getting into it because it's kind of like above my pay grade and everything.
yeah. And I kind of feel the same with like the letters to some extent too. I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
want to
I
make a
have a
video on every letter,
yeah,
especially when like we started getting them like on night one, night two, and we're like, oh, there's going to be a lot of these. Like,
yeah, yeah. Just like wait till they're all out and then just like a full like recap of all the
and that's
letters.
exactly what I'm planning to
Yep,
do. Like
yep.
full recap. Here are the speculations. Um, yeah, it's like too much. It's too much. Like I don't have the bandwidth for
To
that in
try to
this
keep
phase of
up.
life.
Yeah,
But yeah. But the shirts are very similar. I do know that the shirts all somehow tie into like Simone Weil.
yeah.
Somehow, either they're references to like old letters or references to like the people she's worked with.
Gotcha.
Similar to the letters, how like the people that are sending and receiving the letters are all
Hmm.
named after people that she was corresponding with.
Okay.
Um, that's all I really know. I've been reading the letters and things like that. It is cool because they're able to do world building
Hmm.
because they're all from citizens of Dima. So
Yeah.
you can see like, oh, like people are like have X, Y, and Z occupations within the walls. Like it still needs to
Yeah.
function, and they're all similarly like referencing some kind of rebellion, which I would assume is like the events of overcompensate. Like they all
Hmm.
fed into um, that stadium, and they all got like the instructions on how to like tear it down from the inside. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're all writing about that and being present to that.
Hmm.
But we'll see. Yeah, I know that once the letters are probably completed in the next week or so, we'll probably get something more official. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. And part of me that thinks that there's still maybe at least one more music video, even though like my gut is telling me no, but like I still want there to be something more,
Yeah.
is the fact that like the overcompensate citizens were not addressed in Paladin Strait.
Yeah.
Like that
So
feels like an open-ended thread.
yeah, and I can't think of everything off the top of my head, but like I know like in Scaled and Icy, I feel like there was definitely some like open-ended like questions on stuff that never really got resolved. Like I don't know, like Trash for him being like the front cover, I feel like he was definitely like underutilized.
Yeah.
Like I know he had like his like purpose in like the Saturday music video, but I felt like besides that, I like he should have been implemented more, used more.
Yeah, that's one of my big like I like Scaled and Icy as an era
Hmm.
for sure. And especially when they kind of tore down the veil of propaganda and showed like, okay, no, this is actually what's going on in the world with
Hmm.
Saturday and the outside.
Yeah.
Um, I love the second half of the era for that.
Hmm.
But yeah, Trash just felt very underutilized.
Yeah.
Um, and I was really honestly rooting for him to come back somehow in Paladin Straight. Like I was
Hmm.
thinking like he would like I don't know. Like I when I envisioned the music video, I thought a lot more of it would be dedicated to actually crossing it.
Yeah.
Even though I guess they already crossed it and overcompensate. But I thought somehow he would like reference Trash like under the water or something at the
Yeah.
very least. So, but yeah, I agree. Very underutilized. Like, and it's such a cool like element to the lore. There's
Oh
just
yeah.
like a
Yeah.
Leviathan underwater,
Yeah.
and now it's dormant, I guess, or dead.
Yeah.
So
So going back to the line, like, do you think like they're probably gonna release like a music video for that single?
I think so. I really do because I mean, I guess all we have to go off of is like Heathens,
Yeah.
but as like a licensed single, like to an IP. But thinking about it now, like every single they've released has had a music video.
Yeah.
Um, Even like Cancer, which didn't receive like a full live action music video, like still had
Yeah.
this like hand drawn looking thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. Like there's Heathens, Cancer, Christmas Save of the Year, which got that stop motion thing.
Oh
Level of
yeah, I forgot about that.
Concern. Level of Concern, the outside version even got a single
Yeah.
or a music video of like them playing for Jimmy Kimmel or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm missing one, but like they've all had some kind of visual element to go with
Yeah.
them. So I definitely feel like now my like worst case scenario is that the visuals would be like clips from season 2 Arcane. And it has like
Yeah.
nothing to do with like the boys and their
Yeah.
creative like
I
vision.
mean, Heathens had Suicide Squad spliced in, so
True, that is
it's
true.
it's not
But
too far out there to.
yeah, but I feel like yeah, you're right. You're right. And I'm always like there are two camps of people where one camp is like, "Oh yeah, this is like," and I guess this is more before we really saw what Dima looked like,
Hmm.
but they're like, "No, this was like this takes place in Dima, like
Yeah.
this is Tyler and Dima." And I'm like, "Absolutely not." Like we see like an airplane strip, we see security
Yeah.
guards with firearms, like we saw the
Yeah.
Suicide Squad. Like it's this is not Dima.
Yeah.
It's more like a metaphor for it, but
Yeah.
which was like kind of hinting at where it was going. So
Hmm.
they could do something like that where it's more in line with Arcane season 2 and like where it's going, but we could pull like thematic commonalities
Yeah.
from it to like place it in the lore somehow. So
Yeah.
I could see that being a possibility.
I mean, because yeah, 'cause even Heathens had like some like it kind of hints and stuff to like the lore with like
Hmm.
Tyler's Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, yeah,
But I don't know if it'll be like full on lore.
yeah. I don't think it's gonna be something that they completely fully produce. That's their vision, and that fits within the lore. It could be like, I don't know, like a DIY type of music video, but I don't think it's gonna like it's not gonna give like a resolution
Yeah,
to the ending,
yeah.
which is what we're like hoping there's another piece of.
Give us one
So
little thing. Yeah.
yeah, just one more something or other.
Yeah, definitely. But
But I have faith in Clancy Ultimate Chapter 25 though. I think something
yeah.
will be there to like
I
end off the era.
Yeah, I feel
So
like the like Ultimate Chapter 25 has to be something fairly big just for the sake that like they
yeah.
teased it like how they did kind of cryptically. Unless the Ultimate Chapter is the live album. I didn't think about that until just now, but
That could be, yeah. Especially if they do like a DVD tour thing, like they can
hmm
put lore bits in there, like
yeah.
interspersed, I guess.
Yeah.
Or yeah, something in the live album.
hmm
Um, but we'll see. Yeah, time will
Yeah.
tell. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
Regardless, we have a lot to look forward to. I still feel like
oh yeah.
we're not even like a third through the era. So I feel
But
like,
yeah, we still have a lot like I mean we're only like a couple months out from the
yeah,
actual album,
yeah,
so
we have a
there's
lot
still a
to
lot more
look
to
forward to
go.
for sure.
So then, like jumping ahead, like for their next album, like what direction like do you want them to take, and then what do you
Yeah.
think like what do you think they will actually like? What lane do you think they'll kind of go down?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's gonna be a album where they're like truly, because Tyler and Josh have said that kind of writing within the Tima storyline confines have been
Hmm
like exhausting, and like it's also limiting on what they can do. And so I'm expecting like the album after the Dima storyline concludes, it's gonna be freaking nuts. Like I think it's going to be a lot of ideas that they've been saving or like
Yeah.
that they've brought forth and like, oh well, this can't work for like the Dima storyline. Like this wouldn't make sense in the context.
hmm
I think it's gonna be a really creative, like innovative album, sonically, and yeah, I want it to go freaking wild. Like I think it's gonna be like a creativity extravaganza.
Yeah.
Um, and in terms of like, since it's not lore related, um, well, it could be a different story for all I know. But I really do feel
Yeah.
like there's going to be like a spacer, like maybe
hmm
one album, almost akin to Vessel, where
Yeah.
it's like light themes, and maybe it's like laying the groundwork for the future because Vessel kind of laid the groundwork of like the battle between good and evil, like light and
Yeah.
dark, and then Blurry Face kind of expanded on that, and then it kept going.
Yeah.
So they could set up the themes for the next album, but I really do think it's going to be very light on like story, and we'll kind of strip them back to like foundation,
hmm
while also just introducing all these crazy ideas. And I'm honestly really, really excited for that. Like
Yeah.
I really want to see what they can do outside of the confines of like trying to tell an intense story. So it is an exciting thing. I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, it feels very open-ended as far as like where they could go. And I kind of hope that they don't do like another storyline, at least for this next album, just because like I want to see them just kind of do whatever
Yeah,
and just yeah, I
same.
don't know.
I think yeah, like I said, outside the confines, they can do whatever they want. Like if they wanted to do a full like pop punk album or like
Yeah.
yeah, even if they didn't want to stick with one sound, which now that I say that out loud, they wouldn't stick with one sound. Lavish is an example
I
of
was
that.
say
That's like
they're
their
gonna go more of the lavish direction for
yeah,
the next.
that's their like token like song to
Yeah.
not keep them boxed in. So
Yep.
they wouldn't box themselves in, but I think yeah, I think it's just gonna be like a really cool era for them to just express all these ideas that they
hmm
felt like they probably couldn't do before. So I think it'll be a really exciting time to be a fan of 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, really excited for that.
So do you have any other like thoughts on Clancy or just yeah, I don't know, just kind of general thoughts?
Hmm. I think, yeah, I think it's a great era so far. I think the album, although like parts of it initially disappointed me,
Mm-hmm.
or like I felt like was lacking, like you said, something feels kind of
It's
missing.
like kind of bittersweet to a degree.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
like
love it,
there,
but there's little aspects that it's just kind of like,
yeah, yeah. It does feel like something is just like missing, but I can't put my finger on it. But
mm-hmm.
what we have is like there are some really high highs for me,
Yeah.
um, and then just songs that don't like hit as hard, but they're still good. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't feel like a complete journey, um, at least in the sense that like for me at least Trench felt like
Yeah.
a complete story, and you really felt like you were going on a like literal journey going
Yeah.
from track to track, and by the end like Leave the City is like okay, like I have a very very distinct visual for like how Clancy almost traversed Trench,
Mm-hmm.
and he's back in it and he's saying like I'll try once again, but like today's not that day.
Yeah.
um anyway, all that, I'm rambling, but I think something does feel like it's missing, but the highs are very high, like
Oh yeah,
the high
definitely.
points we do have. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I will say another song that shrunk on me is actually At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. I think that was actually my
Oh
favorite
really?
song when
Yeah.
it first came out, and I still like it, but I just think
Yeah.
it takes a little too long to get to that first like
Yeah.
rock anthem part.
Yeah.
And I love those parts, but I don't care for the parts in between. So it's kind of a weird dichotomy
Yeah.
between like these super high points, but then like points that I don't care as much about, but still
Yeah.
good. But I just really want those high points. So, but yeah, I'm really excited for the future of it, and
Yeah.
I think we have more coming. Like they have a lot planned,
Mm-hmm.
and I really do think like once we're at the end of the era, like waiting for the next one, when I think they will definitively put a bookend on it. Because I
Yeah.
know Tyler's all sentimental and stuff. Like he would do something like that.
Yeah.
I think once that does happen, like I will be satisfied with
Yeah.
the era and the album within it and the tour and all the lore. Um, it's just right now, kind of like Skilled and Icy, we're like in this in between phase, just
Mm-hmm.
waiting for how it wraps up. So
Yeah.
yeah. Also, I wanted to say, I meant to say this at the very beginning, but thank you for designing my visuals for
Oh
like the
yeah.
profile picture and the banner. I literally love those so
Oh yeah,
much.
no problem.
And that will stick around for quite some time. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're sweet, man. Thank you so much again.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Last last thought, but the album has like tons of fire on it. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to see
Yeah.
that come to fruition. Like I feel like it was when we saw the album cover, we're like, yes, this is like the rebellion, like
Yeah.
underground, like I don't know, yeah, just a rebellious album. And I don't feel like the sonics of the album represent the the cover of the album, I
Oh
guess.
yeah, definitely.
Like a couple songs, but
Yeah.
I was expecting a more like rock heavy or like rap heavy influence. But even if the sonics like don't represent the album cover as much, I still want to see like that flame like in a
Mm-hmm.
music video or something. Like
Yeah.
whether that's the final chapter or something, like I want to see Dima on fire. Like it's been teased
Yeah.
so long. So
Okay, well yeah, also like in the outside music video, like
yeah.
just like the blue fire and then
Yeah.
like Paladin straight, it's a-okay.
It's totally fine. I wonder if they're gonna say like, oh, it was metaphorical. Like Dima is um it's gonna be defeated and
Yeah.
they're looking into the future or something. I don't know. But yeah, I know I wanted to make a video on that, and I think I may have missed the boat on that, but um yeah, it's totally fine. Like where's the fire at?
Yeah.
Um so who knows? Maybe they did that in the outside and they're like, oh, but wait, we kind of want to do it even cooler in Clancy at some
Yeah.
point. So,
Yeah.
but the
We'll see.
digital remains like tease that to no end. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping we get that at some point.
I will say in the live show there's a lot of fire and pyrotechnics.
Sweet. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it shows Dima on fire.
Yeah.
Like the background is
Yeah.
like on flame and everything.
Yeah.
Is it during navigating that's playing?
Yeah, I think it's like there's multiple songs I think they have that like as the visual.
I'm excited to watch it. And I just realized too, like they'll probably be playing The Line when I see them in
Oh,
like
dang.
2025.
Yeah.
So I hope it's good. I hope the song is
Yeah.
good.
Not in their belts, man.
Yeah, no, no thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for coming on and doing this. This is a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. It's been a
But
blast. Yeah.